vaping is better than smoking. Technically, yes, but so what?
Boom, boom, boom. Hey! Don't you make fun of me for being a bad dancer. How are you? Welcome and hello, and welcome, my fellow vapors, to Son of Liberty Radio. I just shook the whole desk by hitting my cup. Did you see that? It's like an earthquake. What we're going to do tonight is we're going to spend the entire show talking about one topic, because I think it's time that we do spend a few moments promoting this one thing, making a big deal about it, because I think some of you might feel like you don't have a place, that this is not your fight anymore, that there's nothing for you to do, nobody's giving you an opportunity. So we're going to talk about an opportunity for you, the consumer, to do something constructive and maybe make a difference. But anyway, I'm playing around with some new features, as you can hear in the background. There's like background music. I feel kind of like NPR. You know, when they're talking, they talk really calm and they have music playing in the background. I sort of feel like that tonight. So it might be there, might not be there. But anyway, my brother from another mother, who really, I'm not lying when I say he doesn't care about us at all. He wasn't here last week because he had something more important to do. But he's back. He's in the green room. And oddly enough, we both picked the same green screen tonight.
You know, if I actually had to like you, I'd probably have to have a raise. Substantial raise.
Well, if I double your nothing,
okay, then,
if I give you more of nothing,
yes.
Then,
okay,
then,
now I like you
that's
just
double.
a little more.
Just a little more. So I think you owe the listeners and viewers an explanation of why you blew them off last week.
I don't like you. It's not them. It's you.
I'm the most likable person here.
Oh, well.
I am. For now.
I beg to differ.
So, before we get too crazy, we have a surprise guest.
No.
We actually we shamed her and picked on her and told her how much we love her, and she hit me up and she says, I'm ready. So I want everyone to welcome the amazing, the awesome, the wonderful Janine Timmons onto the broadcast.
See.
Hello.
No, that makes you look better.
She raises the level of our show like 10 levels higher.
Exactly.
Just by appearing on screen with us.
Ta-da!
You like my bird?
I like the bird.
Well, it's like he's like perching on your head a little bit. Oh, now you've blocked him.
He's always there.
As long as he doesn't talk to you.
You could be flipping Patrick the bird. That's
well. Don't. It's rude. It's cruel and unusual to flip the poor bird.
Mm-hmm.
But I have something to show on screen here. I'm just trying to give me one moment because this. Come on, yo. Give me a second. I have to find it. Man. Let me scroll down. This is a skip thread, so it's really long. Oh, there it is. I found it.
Yay.
So I saw this and I was like, oh yeah, she has to come on tonight.
That's right. Mark hasn't put any
That's
pictures
not
out
me.
this week.
Can you recreate that?
That's my evil
Here.
twin.
Well,
I
I
don't
am
know
the
what I
evil
did
twin,
now.
so there's a good version of me running around somewhere.
So
But it does your evil twin is indeed blocking the bird again.
Oh, that's
See?
right.
But it's
See.
always there.
That
Not
poor
Oh,
bird is
Skip.
not getting any screen time at all tonight.
Skip's got beer and cheese and salami.
Oh, Skip
Oh.
Skip
Did you
is
see that?
Skip
Oh.
is stepping out on her husband. She's not at home.
Nuh-uh.
It says, "I'm not at home. Mark can't take pictures."
Oh, I didn't see
Very
that. Oh, yeah, I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Tisk, tisk,
Oh,
tisk.
oh, look at her. She's a woman after my heart. She's drinking something over there.
A glass and an
Ginger
ice.
ale. Ginger
Ta-
ale.
All right. I'll let you have it. Ginger ale. Ginger ale, Kevin. Kevin drinks
I know.
coffee, so it's
I'm-
he's a teetotaler too.
I
See
could
that?
not
Look
drink
at that.
coffee this late.
Oh no, I can sit here and drink a whole pot and go right to bed, but
No.
I need a little kick sometimes because Kevin drives me to drink sometimes.
That's right. That's right.
So Janine,
Yes.
I for the people that don't Twitter and don't interact with you on that platform, introduce yourself to everyone. Kind of tell your story.
Okay. Well, I will be 64 this month. I smoked for 40 years, or a little bit longer than 40 years. I tried to quit a few times. It didn't work. So after a number of failed attempts, I gave up. And I just kind of resigned myself to an abbreviated life. And one day I was sitting out on my patio smoking, because that's where I spent 90% of my time. And the upstairs neighbor flipped out because she could smell the smoke. I felt terrible. I came back inside, got the car keys, and I went to the vape shop that I knew was about a 10-minute drive. And I thought, well, I'll just pick one up and use it outside so that I wouldn't bother my neighbor. And I did that, and I liked it a lot. And I ran out of cigarettes, and about 2 weeks later, I quit smoking. I didn't plan it. It just kind of happened because I liked it a lot. I didn't smell. It was a lot less expensive. I started to feel really good, and there was a variety of flavors that I had to discover, and that was it. I didn't smoke again after 2 weeks, and that was a little over 6 years ago now. So here I am, smoke-free.
Wow.
Accidental quitter. So
Yes.
that study that we talked about 2 weeks ago, where they said, we have science that shows that people that don't have any intention to quit are successful with vaping by accident. They quit smoking.
Dual use and everything.
Yep, absolutely.
That's so evil.
That's part of the thing.
Dual use is so evil. I
That's
see
right.
people on Twitter all the time talking about, well, they're still smoking.
Oh.
They're still,
Yeah.
doesn't matter if they cut half their cigarettes out or all but one of their cigarettes out, they're still smoking.
That's so Karen-esque. I know.
You just
Shut
can't
up.
please everybody. Some people
No.
will find anything.
Well, yeah, obviously I'm sure there's people out there that don't like me. It's possible. It's not probable, but it is possible. Kevin over there's throwing shade
What?
at me.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Tom Morowitz, I did indeed share it like to all of the groups yesterday that I when I created the show. But if you want to share it to other places, go right ahead. You have my permission.
Well, yeah.
I will not stop you. So Janine, you're in Canada, right?
I am in Canada. I am.
You're in Canada.
I'm
Is it cold there right now?
Nope. Well, it's dank. It's damp, but it's not.
Well, I
cold.
mean, is it below
I'm on the-
freezing?
No, I'm on the West Coast. So it
Oh,
doesn't.
so you're like over there in Vancouver or British
Yes.
Columbia somewhere.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm
So
on the
you're
coast.
like in the over there by Dr. Mark.
Correct.
Yeah.
And Brent Stafford.
Does he have the same hair colorist as you?
Me?
Yeah, Brent. I just
think-
noticed that you have the same hair color.
It's actually. It's called age.
You're not that old.
It's great.
Kevin's older than you,
That's right.
No, he's not.
and he barely has any hair.
I don't think many
I've
people
got
are
hair.
older than me.
Ed's older than everybody. Ed always.
Oh, is he?
Well,
Ed's
okay.
the bar.
Ed was around when Moses, split the
Was
He
he?
dressed.
the Dead Sea.
Wow.
He
the
dressed
the Red
Moses
Sea.
as a child.
He's
He probably he was probably a playmate of Moses.
He'll come
But
here
he
eventually.
does like his wine, so he can't be all
good
bad.
on him. Good on
Yep.
him.
Yep.
We all have something
Adult-
that we enjoy.
Now,
Adulting and all.
David Lloyd says that you live in Canada's California. That's very, very rude.
Ah.
People on the East Coast say that. Well,
Mm.
actually,
I-
anybody east of BC kind of says that.
There's a California, Canada. I didn't know.
Yes,
Tom Morowitz
exactly.
says that he's a pensioner now,
Oh,
and Skip says that she's 63,
she never
Skip,
includes.
we're almost twins.
and David Lloyd's birthday is today. He says he turned 57 today. So Kevin, sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. That's good enough.
Forgot the words.
That's like a half a birthday song, dude.
Not that good at it. It's all right.
I
Your
thought
brother's
it was
like
good.
a country western like superstar, isn't he?
Well, that doesn't mean that I am.
He's got country records out and everything.
Well, yeah.
I heard it.
He's got some stuff.
Wow,
He's
Wow.
played with famous people and stuff.
that's incredible.
It's
So-
fun.
The reason for the season, boys and girls, the reason I'm super excited and I'm here to spread the good news of opportunity to all of the consumers and even the not consumers, even the industry people that are consumers. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to leave Nick out because Nick is in the Facebook, even though I told him repeatedly, don't go to Facebook. I'm actually going to stop broadcasting to Facebook because of all the nonsense of Facebook. But anyway, the reason we're here is President Biden. Let's go, Brandon. But President Biden. Before I go any further about President Biden, I understand that there's some sort of like trucker revolution in Canada right now.
Yep.
Is there a trucker revolution in Canada?
Yeah, it's mostly back east, but it's heading out west, and I believe.
And this
will
is
be
all
here this
about-
weekend.
Is this all about like diesel prices or something, or is this more COVID stuff? Or
No.
What is this?
It's
Not
I'm
to get
actually
too
the wrong
political.
person to ask about that because I don't like to watch the news as much as I used to because it makes me angry.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. I
So-
mean, we're not going to talk about it. It's just that it was something that I did see on the Twitter sphere
Mm-hmm.
that there is a revolution of truckers. And
Yes.
somebody sued the Canadian government, got GoFundMe to to pull the GoFundMe for the truckers.
Apparently so. Yeah.
I did see a
froze
video. I thought Canadians were supposed to be polite and soft spoken, but I saw a video of a dude like walking from truck to truck. Apparently, they were honking their horns in the middle of the night while they were on the streets, and he's using really bad words, yelling at the truckers to stop honking.
Very impolite.
It was very aggressive, and they were kind of laughing at him, like, "We're not going anywhere. Go away." So yeah.
Well,
yeah, I hear it's gotten a little bit ugly, so I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
And you know, I don't want to say that I'm glad that America is not the only country that's like at each other's throats, because it's not. I mean, it is sad, but the world is becoming a divided world. People are just fed up with each other. I think I'm going to wake up one morning and like half the people are going to be somewhere else. I don't,
That's happening here. Absolutely. That's been my experience the last, probably year.
I mean, America is clearly divided almost right down the middle, like 50%, 50%. It's like 49.5 to 51.5 or whatever. It's ugly. And we have elections coming. The midterm elections are coming, and I can just tell, regardless of which side wins the most, this is our midterms elections or governors, the Senate and the House. And, if one party gets too much power in the Senate and the House over the other one, it's just going to get even worse. But I have lots of bullets and lots of guns, and I can hide.
If it doesn't go my way, I'm moving in with you.
I literally have homes outside of the country that I can go to.
Well, I'll stay in your house, and you.
Which really sad is if I'm looking forward to like running away to Mexico.
Yeah, see.
Or even the Philippines.
I'd go to Canada, but it's too freaking cold.
Which I already know is like
not
the
on
most
the West
corrupt
Coast,
country.
I might like the West Coast then. I don't know.
The West Coast is gorgeous. It really is.
What, California?
For me?
The West Coast of what?
Canada.
Oh.
Canada.
I was gonna say yeah, I've been to California. I have no intention to go back.
It's there's actually a desert in BC, believe it or not.
Really?
And it runs all the way down into California.
Wow.
I don't know that.
Like hot desert?
Yeah, it's there's parts of BC that are very much like California. The topography and the weather is hot, dry, not all year round, but it looks a lot like California. And that's all the strip that goes right down.
I was unaware that there was a desert over there. I was unaware of that.
Call it a desert.
It's probably like 2 acres of sand or something.
I think it's a guy's backyard.
Okay.
Bill said
no, it's not.
Land.
It's actually the Okanagan. The Okanagan is an area in BC that's really, really beautiful. It's very warm and dry in the summer.
I have relatives that live in Alaska, and when I was a kid, this was like my grandmother's cousin, and like a whole wing of the family live over there in Alaska, and they would drive. They had this RV, and they would drive from Alaska to Pennsylvania every year, and go down the Alcan, which was not completely like 100% paved. There's parts of it that used to be gravel road. And I'm just like,
dang.
No, I can't. No. Wow. We have airplanes.
Yes. Some people really love driving.
Oh, I drive for a living. I do home health. So I'm in my car for like 8 hours a day. I'm not looking forward to driving. But anyway, back to the reason we're here. So this week it was announced that Joe Biden was relaunching this initiative called the Cancer Moonshot. So it says here, and this is a personal letter from President Biden. The experience of cancer, of getting a cancer diagnosis, surviving cancer, losing someone to cancer, has touched virtually everyone or every American family, probably every family in the world. This is personal for the president and the first lady, like it is for so many of you. As vice president in 2016, Joe Biden led the Cancer Moonshot with the mission to accelerate the rate of progress against cancer. The cancer advocacy, patient research, and healthcare communities responded with tremendous energy and ingenuity. Now, President Biden has reignited the Cancer Moonshot and set a new national goal. If we work together, we can cut the death rate from cancer by at least 50% over the next 25 years and improve the experience of people and their families living with and surviving cancer. We can make real progress toward ending cancer as we know it. It will take all of us doing our part. Join us. So it says that we need your help. Like he's asking for help. So achieving the bold goals laid out by President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will take all of us. Now, I know that Jill Biden is something, she's like a doctor of something. I don't know if it's actual, she's an educator, I think. I think she's a doctor of education, but she's not stupid. And, you know, she is like several years younger than her husband. So she hasn't got the level of dementia and Alzheimer's that he does. But anyway, progress will be informed by patients, caregivers, and families and made by all parts of the oncology community and beyond. President Biden calls on the private sector, foundations, academic institutions, healthcare providers, and all Americans to join the mission of reducing the deadly impact of cancer and improving patient experiences in the diagnosis, treatment, and survival of cancer. We invite all Americans to share perspectives and ideas, organizations, companies, and institutions to share actions they plan to take as part of this mission. And then it says, share your ideas and stories. Ending cancer as we know it will take all of us doing our part. So does this not excite you, Kevin?
It does me. It does me.
That Biden really wants to hear from you.
Allegedly.
About ways to reduce cancer.
Mm-hmm. I had two people on my timeline last month. One with esophageal and one with breast cancer. As an example, that's just me, and I've got 3 friends. You know, so
yeah. Really, 3?
I think now it's 3. I think I'm up to 3.
Yeah. So we know the best idea. We know the best ideas, the stories that will inspire change, and the actions that can help deliver on this bold mission come from across the United States and beyond. President Biden is calling on the scientific community to bring its boldest thinking to the fight. Medical and public health community to improve their outreach to the support of underserved communities to help patients and family and have the best experience possible while living with and surviving cancer and to improve patient outcomes. I'm going to highlight that. Public health community to improve their outreach to and support for underserved communities. So I was actually messing around in StreamYard, and I have some old tickers. I have some old tickers that were put on the show, I believe, for when we had Charlie on the show. And this ticker is very pertinent.
Mm-hmm.
This ticker that I already had prepared from shows ago, it says adults with mental illness or substance use disorders account for 40% of all cigarettes that are smoked.
Yep.
So that covers a lot of people of color, people in, neurodiverse situations, people that live in abusive relationships.
Yeah.
All of those communities are underserved and ignored in many cases, because we are suffering from, that ugly disease. Mental illness is one of those things. Being poor is one of those things that people don't want to talk about. That's it's embarrassing for how advanced a society we are. We haven't defeated poverty. There are still those people that are crazy. It's sad to me, and public health has ignored them in every other issue. So why do you think that cancer is going to be a thing? They brought it on themselves because they were smokers.
Yeah.
That is, I'm going to pull this off screen for a minute. That is the one thing that I think a lot of people who have never smoked or have never struggled with any sort of issues. That's the they brought it on themselves.
Isn't that a sad way to look at it? Yeah.
They smoked. That's their fault.
Yeah.
I saw, hey, we talk about Ray all the time. Ray Yeats. He smoked and he got sick and he got COPD and he needs oxygen. Well,
too bad.
He did that to himself.
Too bad.
And if you keep vaping, we're not going to give you oxygen anymore.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
inhumane.
If I guarantee you, due to people like Dr. Mark and Ethan Nadelman and all those awesome drug policy people, addiction specialists, they've gotten people to be more empathic with how they think about IV drug users. Some people, obviously, there's still assholes out there that don't care about what's going on, the pressures and stresses and all of the different things that accumulate in a person to make them pick up that first cigarette, or to be prone to, or I would never use the word weaker. Well, I quit cold turkey. You're just not as tough as me. I see that all the time. Well, you could quit if you want to. I did. So yeah, I mean, we have to remember that everybody is different. Some people don't have the pressures. Some people have the pressures and stresses, but handle it better than others. I mean,
we're all different.
Because guess what?
Same.
Yes. If we were all the same, it would be a really boring fucking place to be. It really would.
Yeah.
They don't.
Diversity and differences make us what we are. And,
I don't
like
understand.
I said, if the whole world was made up of billions of me, I hate myself enough to just, kill everybody.
Here's the thing. If Janine, because I love her, walks into a place and says, "Hey, I broke my arm," they may ask, "How did you break your arm?" Well, I was beating the crap out of my friend, or my friend beat the crap out of me. And then this.
This is a better. I don't know where you're going, but I'm going to interrupt you. So, same situation. Janine goes into the ER with a broken arm. And they say, "Well, how did you break your arm?" And you say, "Well, I was skateboarding."
Yep.
Oh, well, you did that to yourself. Go away.
Right. But if I walk in, you went along the same way I was going to go. I came in and I have a car accident. Oh, you poor thing. Mm-hmm. So you did it yourself, to yourself. You chose to break your arm. What? And then I was hit by some dumbass and broke my arm. But we're not treated the same. That doesn't make sense to me. It never has. And it never will. And it doesn't matter whether it's cancer or a broken arm. It's the same scenario.
I'm
They
not
all go
going
like
to treat.
this.
I'm not going to treat you and Janine the same either because I like her.
Well, that's true. That's very true. That's a good point.
She's
Very
much more
good.
lovely person than you are.
Have you seen her Twitter?
Yes,
her
I
Twitter.
have.
Would you
Let
like
me
to
what?
share
finish
some?
reading. Let me finish reading this stuff from the White House. This is this. It says the White House right here. The White House. This is not me making stuff up. This is the White House. This is a big deal. This is not a small opportunity. So anyway, we already talked about this. So the private sector, they're asking for the private sector to step up, to develop and test new treatments, to share more data, knowledge, and to collaborate on tools that can benefit all Americans. There's an and, but I'm going to stop here for a second. See this right here? Private sector to step up. So that's you, industry. That's the pharma companies. We're asking you to step up and develop new test and to develop and test new treatments so that you can charge people for more expensive stuff. Because let me tell you something. If you have cancer, it's a very expensive disease, and there are doctors that are salivating to think of how much money they can make off of your treatment. See what it says here? It doesn't say to develop and test new cures.
Ding.
It says new treatments. Let's manage your cancer.
It's not
That's
preventive.
what this is. That's what treatments do. Treatments do not cure. Treatments manage. So you want a cure. We want a cure for cancer. We want a thing where we can get a disease. We can take a couple drugs, a couple of pharmaceutical things, a shot. Here, give me a shot, whatever, and be cured. But no. Even when you're a cancer survivor, and I did see above, I wasn't ignoring Char. Char said that Amanda, our very good friend Amanda, is a cancer survivor. We knew that.
Fig's wife.
Fig's wife, Fabiana, Fabi, as a cancer survivor. There are other people that we know that are cancer survivors. But guess what? When you have cancer and you have been treated and it is no longer active in your body, guess what? They don't say that you're cured. You're in remission. And guess what? It comes back. Come on back in a year.
Come on back.
Because it's no longer in remission. So it's there. We want a cure. Skip asks, what do the people in the chat room think of? Oh, yes, Matt Cully is also a cancer survivor. He's also been on the show. But anyway, the background music, I'm just driving you guys crazy with the background music tonight.
Sounds like bad Patrick porn.
So asking the private sector to step up, they're going to be like, yeah, we'll do that. We'll step up here. Let's create some more treatments. Hey, Addie Tooney. Oh yes, and more expensive ways to test for cancer. Yeah. So, and then they're asking this is the thing here. Listen to this. President Biden is calling on people living with cancer and survivors, their caregivers and families, and those who have lost someone to keep sharing their perspective and experiences and to keep pushing for progress. All right, let's hear the voices of the people that are actually suffering through the disease, the thing.
That's 100%.
They're asking
of the people.
that. I think that means that everybody should be communicating and giving options, right?
Yeah.
So down here it says, please share your ideas for how we can focus on these efforts and your stories of inspiration and knowledge from your experience with cancer. So I've never had cancer, but I did feel like I had an experience and a story that was relevant because obviously I don't smoke anymore, which is, sort of one of the leading causes of cancer, of multiple types of cancer. So I clicked on share your story, and all it does is ask for your name, your email address, and your zip code. And you say, yes, you have permission. And then you hit this button to upload or record. It has two different options. You can actually sit in front of your webcam and hit this button and hit the record button and record right to the website your comments, your questions, or not questions, your statements. So I invite each and every one of you to do this, to go on there and tell Joe Biden, because this is the White House, this is whitehouse.gov, go there and tell them, hey, you know what? I quit vaping, or I quit smoking with vaping. We know that cancer is caused by cigarettes. We really and truly would love you to consider less aggressive ways of regulating and destroying this industry that saves lives. I smoked for 28 years. No, it wasn't 28 years, 25 years. And couldn't quit any other way. And vaping helped me. And guess what? Even the FDA admits that there are no cancer-causing ingredients in vaping.
Mm-hmm.
So each and every one of you should be going to that website. It's in the show notes. I actually tweeted it about it. Janine?
Can Canadians do that? We don't have a zip code.
It says in the request, it says up above, didn't you hear me say everywhere?
Okay.
Now,
I didn't know whether
it
you meant
does,
everywhere in the U.S. or...
Notice the White House submissions includes the option of not just zip codes only, but also accepts postal codes, which is what we use in Canada. Thank you, Bill Tarling. He preempted that. He actually typed that before you raised your hand.
Oh, wow.
I was just slow on putting the finger on the button. So
You
yes,
Canadians is smart.
Like their ask was everyone. So if they want to, reword it and say we only want to talk about Americans,
America.
But yes, Victor did. Victor's who actually hit me up with this the first. He's the one that founded it. But he had problems. I don't know if he was using his cell phone or his computer. I did it. I uploaded and the video that I uploaded is on my YouTube, but I actually have the original file still. It's called My Vape Story. And it just tells my struggle to quit smoking and how healthy I am. That I'm no longer smoking, that I'm vaping and I feel much better and blah, blah, blah. I uploaded that from my computer and it went right away. Like it didn't even, and it's a 5-minute video and it didn't even give me any crap about it.
Cool.
So I did create my own version of the logo that they're using. I'm calling this Operation Vape Moonshot. Tell Joe Biden. Joe Biden needs to hear from you. And I think if we could get a couple hundred people to upload a 2-minute video talking about how they quit smoking with vaping and their cancer risk is obviously less because there's no carcinogens in vaping. I think we could get some attention to this. And, consumers are always asking, well, there's not really anything for me to do. What am I supposed to do? What, or asking, what can I do? This is something that you can do. Maybe tomorrow I'll do another one from my cell phone. But Victor said he had issues, but when I did it from my computer, no issues at all. So I don't know. Janine's going to do one too. With the bird.
My bird and I.
Make sure you have the bird over your left shoulder.
That's right. That's right.
I will.
Yes, and Skip is right. Everybody that did a video for the Golden Oldies for Lindsay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that you should probably, when you're doing it, at least mention, because this is a cancer thing, you should at least mention that your risk of cancer is reduced because you're no longer smoking, just to make it relevant, or they might just ignore it.
What did
so if you're a lot of the Golden Oldies videos are about flavors, and at this point, flavors is not relevant to this request. So I would say get a new video. It doesn't need to be about flavors. I mean, you can mention flavors, but I think you should specifically put something about, well, obviously my cancer risk is less because there's no carcinogens in vaping.
What did Charles say?
I don't know. What did Charles say?
After 2 years, it's half, and then after 5 years or 10 years.
Oh, on the show. Yeah. No, it wasn't cancer risk. He was talking about the health of your lungs.
Oh, lungs. Okay.
How your lungs, recover after 10 years of vaping. Your lungs should look like those of a non-smoker or a never smoker.
Does that depend on how long you smoked?
I would assume.
Yeah, probably.
I would assume. Mm-hmm. And how many packs of cigarettes? But when you're making general statements,
reduce.
Reduce
is a good word.
It has to be pretty obvious that if I'm not smoking, my risk of cancer is less, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
they don't like that.
Well, it's not about what they like. It's like Dr. Stanley, or not Stanley, Newhouse, Paul said in the movie, facts don't care about your feelings. Here's the data.
I love him. Skip's doing hers.
I know. I speaking of, give me a moment here. La la la. Why are people private messaging me while I'm on? My wife sent me a private message. Bill sent me a private message.
What?
Like, while I'm broadcasting. Here, I'll send it in Twitter. I'm better. I need to just get the hell away from Facebook. There we go. Yeah. There. So, I mean, there's not really any excuse. I mean, everybody that's watching the show right now is probably sitting at a laptop with a camera or watching it on a cell phone that has a camera. Now, some people might be broadcasting it on their TV, but that means that they have enough brains to use that kind of technology. They probably have something else with a camera on it, and submit a video. Or, I mean, there's another option. You can actually type in your story. There is the option for that as well.
Which you've suggested heartily that you have it prepared and ready to go. Look at you. Look how proud he is of himself.
It's so gratifying
that I recognize your brilliance. Is that what you're saying?
I am so awesomely intelligent that I've been telling people for years, have a living document, your story in Microsoft Word, in Google Documents, whatever, that you can, put your basic story in. And when there's a need for you to submit a letter for any, you can go and add a paragraph or whatever about flavors, if it's about flavors, or if it's about a public use ban, you can add a different paragraph for public use ban. If it's please consider my story because I don't want you to ban flavors in vaping. You got a story. You've got your document already created. All you need to do is tweak it here and there for whatever purpose that you're sending it. I've had one on my computer for 8 years, and I have. What if you live on the other side of the planet? I'll give you my zip code. 78414. Put that in there.
4 5
So,
4 2.
Because we have the lovely Janine on the show, I felt like we should have somebody else come in that we love, who has a new computer and wants to test it out. So there's Skippy.
Hi, guys.
Cranky.
Oh my God. This is so much better.
Is that better?
This is so much better than the last time we tried to have a conversation.
Give it a couple minutes and see if it locks up.
Just don't touch anything.
Well, you're almost in Canada, aren't you?
Well, yeah, she is almost. She's in Minnesota.
I love Canada. I've been there several times.
I blame Canada for everything. It's even a song.
It is.
So Skip, you don't like the music playing in the background?
Ew.
Ooh,
No. It's really distracting for my ADHD.
Oh, fine. For you, I'll turn it off.
Well, you don't have to spoil me.
I stopped it there. It's gone. It is now banished.
Thank you.
I was just playing with it anyway. It's a new feature. I probably won't ever do it again. I even told Janine, I'm not going to do this, but I did it anyway.
New toys are fun.
Yeah.
Hi, Janine. We're finally almost face to face.
It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I'll just block out the chuckleheads.
Hey, you know what? Here, watch this. Here.
Oh, there we go. It's our
Now it's
show
just you. Talk for a little while.
Girls' night out.
That's right. It's really good to actually sort of meet you.
Sort of, yeah. It's better than just chatting on Twitter.
That's right. Well, you can't hear tone.
No.
Can't see animation.
Or see faces.
Or see faces. You just see the...
Although that picture... I'm having a rough day, so I'm a little emotional today. And that picture you post on Twitter just made me bust out laughing.
Good.
I mean, I'm gonna print that and hang it on my wall.
Oh, you might have nightmares.
No. Well, I have those anyways, so it wouldn't be anything new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. Yeah, that's good. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad it made you laugh. That's what it's all about. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yes, that was a good one.
That's Miss Canada, that's for sure.
Okay, we're back.
Hi, guys.
Pretty bad. Hi, guys.
We just moved the order, so the boys are on one side and the girls are on the other.
Oh, it's like elementary school all over again.
I was thinking high school dances, yeah.
You have to stay so far apart.
Patrick,
right.
Stop touching me.
I'm not touching you.
That's right.
So,
Skip, how's your cranky ass doing tonight?
Why are you so mean, Kevin?
He's not
put you in the corner.
Boy, do you want an honest answer to that question, Kevin? Or should I just say I'm fine?
Yeah, I do.
No, today is a very important
answer.
Today's a very important day for Skip.
It is. It's a very emotional day. 10 years ago tonight, I was sitting in my mom's recliner as she was laying on the couch unresponsive. Every hour or two, I gave her another dose of morphine. And at 2:04 in the morning, she passed away. So today is a hard day because it's 10 years today. And my mom smoked for many years and got COPD and had to quit smoking. And when she did, her mental illness got way worse. And a lot of her paranoia and anger ended up directed towards me to the point where it was affecting my own mental health, and I had to cut off ties from my own mother. And I hadn't spoke to her for 4 years. And one of her neighbors came into my work. I worked at the local convenience store, and said something was wrong. Her car hadn't moved in a long time. The same lights are always on, whatever. So I called my brother who lived in the Twin Cities, and he drove up, and my mom was horribly ill and wouldn't go to the doctor. So I had him convince her to go to Convenient Care, which is a nurse practitioner off to the side of the pharmacy in the local grocery store. And of course, Mom was too sick and they wouldn't see her. So they took her to the emergency room and they admitted her into the hospital and determined she had cancer and congestive heart failure. And that was Christmas of 2011. And she spent Christmas in the hospital. My brother went home to his wife and kids and had Christmas. My son and I and some very amazing friends spent Christmas Day cleaning my mom's home because she had been sick for so long. The dog had messed all over the house. Food was everywhere, very mouse infested, mouse poop everywhere. And we spent our Christmas cleaning so she could come home to die. And 10 years ago tonight was her last night.
Yeah.
Smoking sucks and cancer sucks. So it's a struggle for me every year. I spent the last month of her life with her, taking care of her. I had gone home, which would have been 10 years ago last night. My brother and his wife and kids came up and spent the night with Mom so I could go home for a night. And they left in the morning, and I ran over and found my mom unresponsive on the couch. So, yeah, it's a rough day today.
Yep.
So now that we're doing what we're doing tonight, I mean, the whole purpose of tonight is to take this cancer moonshot opportunity. I mean,
and we
think of
should.
How many people in the future that don't quit smoking because they have less access to vapor products, or vapor products are gone. We have a technology. We have a solution. And what are they doing? They're shitting all over it. They're trying to prevent people from trying it. I just it baffles me that these are the people, that are the party of science or whatever, and by and large, they're the ones who you would think would be embracing harm reduction. They embrace harm reduction in every other thing. But this one thing, they will not accept it.
No, we need to get past the stigma of nicotine. Nicotine is now worse than hardcore drugs. Sunday will be the 9-year anniversary of the funeral of my best friend, Bucky, who died from lung cancer. Smoking, again, this is a rough weekend. And I think all of us have been touched, either in our own cancer battles or the cancer battles of our loved ones. My cousin Jeannie right now is fighting cancer. I had a family member die a few weeks ago from cancer. I had a friend die a few weeks ago from cancer. That's the problem getting mine and Janine's age. The older you get, the closer together the deaths come. Now you're dealing with people that have smoked 30, 40, 50 years. And it just seems like you never get time to finish grieving over somebody before there's another person to grieve over. It's shameful that throughout the world we have to fight so hard to not die.
It really is.
How dare you? How dare you quit smoking using something that we didn't approve?
I know.
How dare you? How dare you be successful at something that we said is not successful?
I'm gonna quote Janine. All my smoking life, I was told to quit. I did. Apparently, they don't like how I quit. We have the right to access harm reduction. That's her Twitter top thing that she holds up there.
Her pinned tweet?
Pinned tweet. Thank you. It's like over tweeting. You know,
you're the Twitter guy, and you don't even use the right verbiage.
I just do stuff. I don't care what it means.
Overtweet.
But if you have opportunity, 20 years ago, my dad died in 2014. Let's go with my dad, 2014. This technology, he didn't even know I was doing it. He was already out of it, and he was already getting the morphine, and I was dealing with Janice's issues. We didn't know what they were. He thought it was me. We're having this delusional conversation about what's going on. Yeah, there it is. All my smoking life, I was told to quit, and I did. Apparently, they don't like how I quit. Isn't that the saddest statement ever? So what if there was something better? And I kept thinking that when I was with my dad, what if there was something better that he'd had an opportunity to have and try? Whether he would have or not, I don't know. But that's always in my head. Now, I don't care if you want to quit or not. You have the opportunity. That's what I want.
Skip, what are you drinking?
A Budweiser.
Yahoo! We're going to get her snockered.
I only have one. I've had the same 6-pack of beer now for a few weeks. I had to quarantine for a few days, so I had a couple beers.
Good.
Good.
And so I saved the last one because I promised Patrick that someday I'd come back on the show. And
I'm sure that we'll get you on again. Now that you have a stable
computer that works,
device, yeah.
Shout out to Lindsay Stroud, who surprised me with a new computer.
She's a high-powered, mover and shaker. She can get you the computer.
Nice.
Sweet. Very cool.
My just on the heels of Skip's stories and Kevin's stories, I probably everybody knows by now because I sound like a broken record, but I had a very dear friend for 35 years, or over 35 years. We were actually partners many, many years ago, but managed to remain friends. And she smoked, I smoked, we all smoked. And Deb ended up with stage 4 lung cancer, and she lasted less than 2 years. She lived 2 ferry rides over from where I live. She lived on a small Gulf island, and I went over there probably once a month or once every 6 weeks. And that was in between driving an hour to help my sister look after my mom. So it was a double thing going on. Mom passed away December 10th of 2020, and 6 days later, my best friend died. But I have to say that the last 6 months that I spent with Deb were the most incredibly enlightening days that I've ever spent in my life. When you're with someone who, I kind of describe it as they're here, but they're sort of on their way as well. The vulnerability is gorgeous to me because they're raw. We had the best talks. We sat and held hands. We didn't have the need to speak all the time because it didn't matter. And after Mom passed, I got the call from her partner, from my friend's partner, and I raced over there within 3 days. I got there. I sat with Deb for probably 4 hours. She knew I was there. She actually got up to help make dinner. We wheeled her out in a chair with her oxygen, and she was crazy doped up, and she was a chef. So we had some salmon, and she's there, but she's not. And in true Deb fashion, I said, so I can cut up the salmon for you, and that's fine, and Caroline will work on the other. No, I'll cut it. And she just sort of took the knife and looked at me like I'm doing this. And she slashed the hell out of that salmon. And we were like, that's lovely. That's really nice. So we had a lovely, she didn't eat. We had a lovely evening and spent part of the day the next day, and she passed the very next day. Now, the thing that's amazing to me is I have a lot of very long time friends, and none of them smoke anymore. And I continued to smoke. So I felt like the scourge. And after they found out that Deb died, every one of them said, "Are you going to quit vaping?" And I thought, wow, you don't really understand what this is. And I've been talking about it for probably 5 years at that point. Like, hello, are you not listening? And I said, no, I'm not going to quit vaping. I'm going to continue, because if I don't vape, I'm going to smoke. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I can breathe really well now. I have lots of energy. I feel really great. No, I'm not going to quit vaping. You need to listen. Yeah, I don't understand how I can make you understand more. But since that, I thought, okay, when I talk to people now, I'm just going to pretend that they have no clue. And I'm going to try to help them understand. And actually, it's just made me want to fight even more. It hasn't made me want to give up. It's made me want to fight more, because I watched my best friend pass away and suffer. And honest to God, I know everybody has said this probably, but I don't want to see anybody else go through that. So that's why we all do what we do.
Yep.
We want to help.
Exactly.
You watch somebody who can't breathe fighting for air with oxygen, even with supplemental oxygen, and they're still fighting for air. And to hear those last breaths, it's awful. Mm-hmm. I mean, I work with dying people every day. And yeah, it sucks to be there. And, you mentioned, that she got a little burst of energy on her last day.
Yeah.
That's, that's something that I see all the time. And when I have a patient that I know is short timer, that day that they get up out of bed and they do things they haven't been able to do for months.
Yeah. That's
the day. I always tell the family it's coming, and they're like, "But she's so good." I'm telling you, this is the day.
Yep.
Those
always
are gifts.
happens.
That's a gift.
Yeah, that's the universe or God or whoever giving you the opportunity to have that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And clarity. Dad had a small window of clarity. It seemed, at least, even though he had some morphine, but yeah.
Can I have some morphine?
I was explained with a little booklet, and I never knew it, that your end of life, you don't eat, and all these things that even at that age, at 48 years old, 45, whatever I was, I didn't realize all of that. I had never experienced it that close. Grandmothers and those were the parents going in, not Kevin. And with Dad, the hospice nurse had a little booklet on the table, and I went through that booklet, and I was like way more educated than I ever thought I could be, with expectations or lack of, going through that part of what I was witnessing with my dad. And not pretty, but wow, because he didn't want to eat. He pretended he wanted to eat. He was arguing with us about having a barbecue in his closet. He was calling my sister my mother. There was some fun stuff in there too, but I heard stories I'd never ever heard from him. True or not, I'd never heard them, and he wasn't a liar. So I had a pretty good time with some of that. But Not a pretty sight at all. Very
not to interrupt the serious conversation, but I do want to tell everybody I have to do the promotional thing. All of our collaborative products with Vape Band are still 30% off. There's a coupon code Son of Liberty Radio, no spaces, gets you 30% off of our wonderful and amazing glow in the dark vape bands that say #clusterfuck. Very patriotically colored as well. And they come in 22 and 24 millimeter. And our wonderful Kevin was just holding it up. Kevin, hold it up again. The wristband, the hoist the black flag wristband with our show logo and our scallywag logo. They're also 30% off. I have one right. I have two. I have one here and one here on my microphone stand.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Andrew has been kind enough to make these for us out of his own pocket. Like,
he was substitute Kevin last week.
He was substitute Kevin because I couldn't get Janine to come in at the time.
I heard you running your mouth.
She was busy taking care of her dad, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Dad decided to throw himself down an escalator, so
yeah, it happens.
Oh.
Sometimes we get those urges to see what'll happen if we do things.
No.
But I offered to go to Canada and do free therapy, but I will need a couch to sleep on.
A couch.
I'm not particular. A bottle of bourbon and a couch. That's all I need. A shower would be helpful.
Some ice in a glass, right?
Yeah,
and he's very entertaining, Patrick.
Well, so am I, though. I'm very fun. My patients love me because I tell jokes.
You could go see Ray.
Exercise. Ray's on the other side. He's in Nova Scotia.
Oh,
he's on the far eastern side.
All right.
Road trip.
Yeah.
I am not. No. I told a story a while ago about not driving.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go on a road trip so
that's
bad.
Like the furthest, from Vancouver or, depending on if she's on the Gulf over there. I heard her mention Gulf Islands. That's on the
Pacific
furthest
Ocean.
west. Yeah, that's on the Pacific. And Nova Scotia is on the Atlantic. And it's actually like the hat, he's like on the brim of America's hat. That's further out. Nova Scotia is. So it's even further than if I drove from California to Georgia.
It's a
which I have done.
Long way.
Not doing it. They have airplanes.
But Nova Scotia's worth the trip, eh? It's really good. The people are great. They are.
Well, who is it that I know that's from Nova Scotia? Other than Ray. I do see that our friend Chris Big Knowledge Garland is in there.
Oh.
Hey, Chris.
Let's see.
I don't see the chat.
Chocolate is awful. It's like the worst thing ever.
I don't see the chat right now. So.
There's a button. You can click it. It says live chat. It says comments or live comments or live chat.
I'm in the green room.
You're not in the green room. You're in the broadcast.
I'm not on YouTube right now.
No, you don't have to be on YouTube. On the StreamYard, along the right-hand side, there should be 5 little tabs.
She's got 600 tabs up.
And one of them says live comments.
If you're in StreamYard.
I'm in StreamYard.
Private chat.
Oh, my God.
There you go. Look at that.
Did you find it?
I did.
I don't have any of those buttons. Maybe it's
I clicked on comments.
It says comments, yes.
Yeah, I clicked on comments, and there's a bunch
right
there.
Along the right-hand side of the screen, there should be some options.
I just see a little mini me, which is really annoying. And you're in the show. That's all I see.
Hi,
Well.
Mal.
That's okay.
So, a side
Anyway,
story.
Before I
story.
interrupted you, you started to speak.
Me?
Yes.
So, with all this misinformation about vaping, a lot of us don't trust medical professionals, public health, whatever. And we all know that a high rate of people who smoke are people with mental illnesses. And my mother suffered horribly from mental illness. And she distrusted medical professionals so much that even though she was literally dying, her heart was failing, she couldn't breathe, and the cancer was everywhere, she wouldn't take anything stronger than an ibuprofen. So she never had morphine until they think she had a heart attack in her sleep and was unresponsive, and I administered it to her.
See, I already had that banner ready for you, Skip. 40% of all cigarettes that are smoked by adults with mental illness.
Yep.
So I have these tabs already, so I can show this one. This says every 6 seconds a person dies from a smoking-related disease. Half of all people who smoke will die prematurely from smoking-related disease, and over 8 million people die from a smoking-related disease every year. And then there's this other one that I have. This says harm reduction sits at the intersection between public health and human rights. No fire, no smoke. The global state of tobacco harm reduction from like 2 years ago. They made that comment. So it's again, we said a while ago that it's abhorrent. It's horrifying. It's all these things that people are unwilling to meet us where we are, right? That's what we always say. You have to meet the addict where they are. You have to meet the person that you're trying to talk to where they are.
Highlight Mike's comment.
Yeah, because this is my world. He says even one of my physical therapists is unwilling to discuss the positive aspects of vaping. There's not enough evidence yet. Mike, tell him that I have a Google Dropbox with over 10 million pages of research. And that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but there's over 300 studies in there. Tell him what do you mean there's not enough evidence? We have thousands of pages of research. Public Health England promotes vaping. You need to, if he doesn't want to, obviously, those of us that are in the highly educated world are the worst because we think we already know everything.
Well, you got an I Love Me wall.
So doctors of therapy, all physical therapists are considered DPTs, doctor of therapy. He's a doctor, so he knows everything already.
So sad.
So yeah, we have shared drives with data. We have Safer Wiki with thousands of pages of science that is easily searchable. But like Janine's friends, they have preconceived notions. If it looks like smoking, it must be smoking. And if smoking's bad, that vaping thing must be bad too, because it looks just like smoking to me. So regardless of how intelligent somebody is, regardless of what your relationship with people are, they are still going to come at this problem from the perspective of the uninitiated. And depending on who they are, they may be unwilling to listen to other opinions or other scientists that disagree with the party line or the zeitgeist of social media and media. People get their news now instead of from newscasters, from what we call influencers. They're not even newscasters anymore. Used to be Walter Cronkite would come on and tell you, this is what happened. And that would be it. He wouldn't say, this is what happened. And it's it's horrifying that the people on the right or the people on the left or whatever, they have to insert their opinion into things. These are no longer newscasters. These are op-eds. These are position pieces. These are what did I say a while ago, Kevin? Propaganda. I didn't say that, but
so off and on topic, either one you want to go with. I found something from 2009. Somebody had a Facebook. I threw it on Twitter, and I tagged Safer Wiki, shameless plug, and No Nicotine as well. I presented this position to 20 of the world's experts, and though some were shocked and insulted, no one could argue my case was untrue. Speaking of nicotine addiction, Dr. Glover overtweeted me, which doesn't happen. I know. Quote tweeted, evidence that nicotine is not addictive on its own has piled up since 2009. She's referring to that. But it's an unwelcome truth. Pathologizing and stigmatizing people as addicts is a powerful social control tool. Tobacco control prohibitionists are not willing to give up. People of the lie was the hashtag I liked. But the reason I'm showing that is that she's a public health professional. Like Mike's.
She was a tobacco control person too.
Right. It's not like she's new at this. She's been around a couple of days.
She was one of them until one day she opened her eyes like Cliff Douglas. She actually beat Cliff Douglas by a few years.
Disappointed.
And then she got blackballed. She got blackballed and erased because
you said
she went outside of the party line. And when I say party line, I'm not actually referring to political parties in this particular case. But
Dr. Siegel had it with Glance, and she's had it, and others have had it, and are still having it, and will continue to have it because they won't toe the line, like you said.
Did you see Cliff Douglas's tweet about Clive Bates's recent? No. Oh, Cliff did a good one.
No.
Cliff does everything, as far as I know, other than the fact that he won't come on my show.
I've become one of them.
I've had some nice private chats with him on Twitter. He's actually a very nice man.
Who, Cliff?
Yes.
He's very nice. He was not rude in his refusal to come on the show. He just said that I'm going to choose to use bigger outlets to put my story out there. Apparently, I'm not big enough. I bet you if Cully reached out, because he's got millions of followers, he probably could get him. Or even
Brent Stanford?
Even Brent. I don't know that Brent is as big as he used to be, though. What was I over here? I was looking for something.
Cliff Douglas's tweet.
That's what I was going for. Clive. Thank you. Doug.
Nag.
Hey, I'm getting old. My memory's not what it used to be. Here, this one. Is it this one, young lady? If you're concerned about vaping and overwhelmed by the public debate, don't wait. Take a look at this unique resource. Weigh the evidence that's clearly presented here, and with an open mind, set aside what some folks might wish you to believe, and draw your own informed conclusions. Mm-hmm. And then, obviously, he's quote tweeting Clive Bates, who says, "E-cigarette risk perceptions and American crime scene. New blog compares disinformation from 4 U.S. health organizations with UK equivalents. The comparison is damning." Mm-hmm. And then there's a link to the clivebates.com where he does this e-cigarette risk perceptions and American crime scene. Most Americans now incorrectly believe that e-cigarettes are just as harmful or more harmful than cigarettes. Actually, it's not now. We talked about this. We've been talking about this for 3 years.
But it's getting worse.
Since 2019. No, it's 70%. Was the
getting worse.
The last survey was that 70% of all Americans, or all people surveyed, believe that cigarettes or vaping was more harmful than cigarettes. Let's see. Most Americans now incorrectly believe that e-cigarettes are just as harmful or more harmful than cigarettes. U.S. health organizations have unethically cultivated this misunderstanding and compare unfavorably with UK equivalents. Their duplicitous behavior resembles that of big tobacco 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, I have drawn the chart above from the U.S. National Cancer Institute Hint Survey, picking up results from 2014, 2017, and most recent data from 2020. The current situation is shocking, and the trend is a disgrace. But how has that happened? In this blog, I compared the vaping risk communications of 4 major American health organizations with 4 similar UK organizations, and the comparison is damning. It's a pretty long thing. I invite everyone because Clive likes to write. And
it's an excellent piece.
Yeah.
It's an excellent piece.
I will copy the link and slap it in the chat so that you guys can understand. Brainwashing still is a thing. And indoctrination, which is a word that we use to talk about how the Nazis can completely brainwash a generation of young Germans and to put on a shirt and go around and beat up people that are different than them because they were different. And all it was propaganda and misinformation that completely socially engineered an entire generation of German youth into believing that it was okay because they were different and they're not us.
You know, and you go back to... Sorry, Kev.
Oh, just how simple that seemed to be. Sad.
You go back to cancer. Your best chance of surviving cancer is if it gets caught early enough to treat. Mm-hmm. So as less and less people trust public health, how many people are going to have symptoms and not find out soon enough?
Yeah.
Besides all the people that aren't quitting smoking due to misinformation, just the public in general, how many people aren't seeking? I'm guilty. I'd be dying to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Oh no, I work in healthcare and don't even go to the doctor.
Yeah. So in the mid 80s, early 90s, Peter Criss is a male drummer from Kiss.
Yeah.
Male, had breast cancer.
Yeah,
now
he's on my wall.
I can't explain how I did not know until that
my
moment.
Uncle, my mom's brother, he's a male, have had breast cancer.
I didn't know that.
I self-check all the time.
So there you go. But
I
that's
check for lumps all the time.
But that's the education level of Kevin, or the surrounding circumstances that I'm in my life. And suddenly he's on Oprah or whatever he was on. And I was like, I didn't know men could get breast cancer, of all things. So when you're in
breast,
well, I know that, but I didn't realize it. So then I didn't look. So when you have somebody who's poor and doesn't know anything, and they're just as or more afraid of the health community, who won't listen to somebody like Mike for 5 minutes, who's been doing it for 10 years and knows way more than this goofball in PT, clearly, who do you trust? So the education side of it is sad. And
but here's the thing, the general public, Janine's friends, the PT, all those people that we see all the time, they've been pretty much instructed. The general public has pretty much been instructed not to think critically anymore. They don't teach critical thinking skills in school anymore because they don't want people to think for themselves. They want an entire society of people that will just get in line with everybody else.
Bots.
So we don't want, they want to, when a nail sticks up, what do they do? They hammer it until it goes down because they want it to conform. So when you don't fit the mold and you want to do your own research and think for yourselves, that's frowned upon now. We don't, not to get into any COVID stuff, but I invite you to think for yourself, to research, and don't just do a little research. You have to read perspectives. You have to read everybody's perspectives and think for yourselves. Not to go on down this rabbit hole, but this week there's a lot of drama on social media because Joe Rogan said something that people didn't like. Well, Joe Rogan has made multiple anti-vaping comments on his show, and I would never go and say, hey, he needs to be pulled off the air because his opinion is different than mine.
Exactly.
But other people decide, well, I want to control you or Joe, and I'm going to force the people that sign your paycheck to take your paycheck away from you because you said something different than me. Now he's got a contract. He's worth $200 million or something. So he could literally cash out. He could say, you know what? Kick me off of your platform, and I'm going to keep the $200 million check and
start over,
laugh on the way to the bank. But, just because I don't agree with him does not mean I want him deplatformed.
That's book burning.
And I love Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and Crosby, Stills and Nash, and they're wrong. They're wrong.
They burned Beatles albums, remember?
But these are the same people. Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Crosby, Stills and Nash. They were leaders of the counterculture.
I know.
And now they're like,
get off my lawn.
So he has to be removed. I don't want to have my stuff on the same platform as his stuff. But yeah, like I said, he's had multiple shows where he's been rabidly anti-vaping, even though he had a guest on the show that was a vapor and tried to educate him.
Yeah.
And, he's still free to say whatever, to have his own opinion and to be able to speak. That's one of the wonderful things about America. On Son of Liberty Radio, I would never, ever, ever tell people that they can't have their liberty. So that would sort of be off brand for me, right?
A little.
Yeah.
Good job on the red shirt. Do you know it's Wear Red Day?
I did not, but this is the Son of Liberty Radio red shirt.
I had a red shirt on earlier before I went home and changed clothes.
And I have a color coordinated red hat. See?
Cool. February is Heart Health Month. And today is Wear Red Day because people aren't aware of it isn't just men who have heart attacks. Speaking of not knowing men get breast cancer, people aren't aware of the rate of women who are just as prone to heart attacks and heart disease as men.
Well, and not only that, but when women have a heart attack, it's not the stereotypical symptoms that men get.
Correct.
Yep.
So today is Wear Red Day. Matter of fact, my pinned tweet on my Twitter reminds people that it's Heart Month.
Yes. Men, when we have a heart attack, it feels like an elephant is sitting on our chest. It radiates down our arm. We know when we're having a heart attack. Many of my patients, the female patients that have had heart attacks, are like, well, I had a little gas, or I had a little heart, I had my stomach hurt, and it's a completely different list of symptoms. That's why women don't recover from heart attacks as often, or the numbers, because they didn't even know they had one. My mom had a heart attack and didn't know it for 10 years until they set her up on all the tests, and they're like, shows here that you had a heart attack. The scarring looks about 10 years old. And they're like, do you remember that? And she's like, no. Nope. They said, you could die.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, American Heart Association, they're against e-cigs. Raj is in the, and even American Lung Association made a sort of halfway beneficial comment about vaping, but they have to couch their language in such a way where they're like, well, if you've tried every other way to quit smoking and couldn't, you could try vaping, but it's probably not going to work. That's how they do it. And I think they even hid that comment, Kevin. I don't think it's as easily found as it used to be.
I just can't. Charles has the official thread of all the organizations. I've given him a couple. He's shown me a few that I way more than I didn't see.
I've given him several. There's a wiki page.
Oh, that list is growing. That list is like 50 or 60 now, right?
We have a wiki page with graphics of all the statements from all the different health organizations. And we're currently building one with statements from various medical professionals, PhDs, tobacco control people, etc. And that will be way over 100 people when we're done with that from around the world.
Right.
But they're hiding those statements.
Yeah, no, even though they and usually it's an affiliate group of a larger group. The larger group, the parent group would never say it, but American Heart Association from such and such county might put out if you look at that, a lot of those groups are like American Heart Association's not there, but American Heart Association Action Network of such and such is on there,
Heart is there. Lung is the only one I know of that doesn't have anything.
Right. So
that I know of.
Yeah, even Action on Smoking and Health America is on there. Not the good Ash in the UK, but the American Ash, who has been rabidly anti-vaping. But they've made comments that they didn't think anybody was noticing, but we noticed. We
found it. We're going to find it.
Yeah,
they're going to deny it.
Bill says, Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, American Heart Association, American Cancer Society, American Lung Association, or legal money laundering organizations, literally not figurative. They do donate. They donate to each other. Well, here's the thing. I don't remember, Kevin, and I'm sure Janine or Skip, they probably were. Remember we did a story maybe 6-8 weeks ago. It was this young girl in the UK who had written a story about Michael Bloomberg, dark money, and in her article she actually wrote Michael Bloomberg owned Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, even though it's sort of a slight, but he literally does own them. I mean, they do derive quite a lot of money from his donations, and then they turn around and they grant money to American Heart Association or American Cancer or American Lung, and it's just a Michael Bloomberg's going to write one big check to Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, and then they disseminate it out to all their cohorts. Yep.
And look how much money. Look how much he donates to the World Health Organization and the
$700 million
and the CDC Foundation.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's on the board of directors of the CDC Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which is not the CDC.
No, it's not the same thing.
Which I did not know that until 2 or 3 years ago.
Not the same thing.
Very deceiving. Extremely deceiving.
Well, because the CDC Foundation is the group that goes around the world to set up CDCs in other countries. So the American CDC is the model, and then they go around and they develop CDCs even in China. We built the CDC in China, in the Philippines, in India. All these are beneficiaries of Bloomberg money. So that's how he can go into the Philippines and say, I'm going to put a desk in your office. This is this is
what we're doing.
Our friend in Puerto Rico verified this. in Costa Rica, verified this. Jeffrey Zamora came on the show. Remember, we talked about this. They had a paid Bloomberg employee in the office of Congress in Costa Rica, in their public health, their Department of Health, whatever it's called, in maybe their FDA, the Costa Rican FDA or whatever, who that desk was supplied by Bloomberg. That person's payroll was paid for by Bloomberg. They were a Bloomberg employee with an office right in the official headquarters for the public health FDA, whatever it is, in Costa Rica. If that is not foreign dark money, like coming in, like that would be like if we found out today that the Chinese government had not even a hidden, like this is not even like below, this is right there in front of everybody to see, a Chinese officer with an office or a desk right in the main office of any politician or any government agency in the United States.
Yeah.
Like, how horrified would you be as a citizen of any country to find out that another country was paying for somebody to sit in that office and make suggestions on government policy?
Strong suggestions.
Right. Or, hey, here's model legislation. Just introduce this.
Yeah. We already got that for you.
Our attorneys have already written it for you.
I read an article once about Bloomberg's interest in the environment and climate change and all that, had provided staff to several state attorney general's offices.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He's everywhere.
I mean, I'm less concerned as an American citizen because he's an American. But if I was a Filipino or a Costa Rican or whatever, and I found out that some American was in my government offices telling people what to do, I would be livid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be against something. That's got to be against the law in every country in the world. No foreigners can come in and have undue authority or power over our local government.
You'd think.
Not in such a brazen, like, out in front of everybody way.
No.
I don't know that Tom Morowitz says good in the Philippines for kicking his arse and reversing policy. I don't think they kicked his arse. I just think that they changed the policy. They didn't kick him out. They didn't censure him or fine him or charge him with criminal conspiracy to affect the government, which he should. I mean, they should. But he's untouchable.
Yep. Sad, isn't it?
And it's going to be his birthday in a few days.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Valentine's Day, if I remember right. Who has the Bloomberg birthday thing on Twitter? Is that
Not me.
John?
Oyston?
Yes,
John
that's who it
Oyston,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the video.
I have video of him somewhere on the computer talking about how vaping lowers people's IQs.
That one pissed me off.
I do have that.
That's the same thing saying that nicotine damages people's brains.
Yeah.
So when you look back at when I was a kid and we sent man to the moon and everything, and you look at the old pictures of mission control for NASA, and there's these huge ashtrays and all these guys in their white shirts and skinny black ties, and the ashtrays are full of cigarette butts. If all those dudes were brain damaged, are you telling me if they wouldn't have smoked, we'd have sent man to Mars first instead of the moon? I mean,
well, I'm watching a TV show on Apple TV called For All Mankind, and it's an alternate universe version of the the space program. And in this version of the world, in this version of history, the Americans weren't the first to the moon. The Russians were. And it just that's the jumping off point for the development of this story. But yes, there are entire blocks of scenes that are in mission control, and every one of those people is smoking a cigarette. The astronauts, not in the spaceships, but like these are supposed to be the top of the line physical specimens of humanity. They're smoking cigarettes and drinking
Einstein smoke.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
Kevin's got a meme somewhere.
I got Clinton and Obama and all. Einstein's in the middle, and
Kennedy,
Winston
Churchill.
See, I have an issue of them including Obama on that though. Genius or anything, Just saying.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying. How did he get there? He smoked.
I'm just saying.
That's impossible.
No, he got elected because he was using a Juul.
He wasn't using a Juul.
No, they actually have pictures of him using a Juul.
No, he didn't get elected for it though.
No, well, not because of it, but that's what made him smart enough to fool people into voting for him.
There is an article, and there was a meme, if I have to look really hard, that his physician, the White House physician, I believe, said he's been using the nicotine gum or patch or whatever, and he's doing so well being nicotine or tobacco free. And I thought, well, how about that? He's tobacco free using nicotine. Bastards. So
it only counts when it's them. It's okay for him, but nobody else.
Right. And that's okay. For them. Nothing about us without us. Exactly. Am I still in that again? You can. Why can't you?
Yeah. Well, I feel kind of bad about stealing that because that has its own implications.
True.
The people that originated that were fighting an ugly war against a government that didn't care because there were people dying, but they were different than us, so it didn't really matter.
Right.
And when you watch the documentary about the quilt, or
in years I haven't seen that, but yeah,
that is if that doesn't move you, you're a dead person. You have no soul.
You and I are old enough to remember this. The whole movie. The whole fucking thing. And you and I were aware enough to understand it.
Yes.
And I like you are.
I actually had never had a problem with people that were different than me.
No, I didn't. Well, red hair and freckles, I didn't care.
Well, no, gingers don't count. But,
all I know is that I was thinking every time I watched the news, nab their balls. Get them. Just fucking.
Why are you so focused on balls?
I don't know.
Are you trying to tell us something?
How many times have I used
it? It's okay. You can tell. I mean, that's fine. You probably should talk to your wife about that, though.
She barely likes me either.
Well, I get it. I understand.
30 years, I know. So
happy anniversary, Kevin.
Thank you, dear. Isn't she lucky? I keep telling her she doesn't believe me.
I think you're the lucky one. She hasn't killed you in your sleep.
Yet. Not yet.
You do have to sleep tonight. I would sleep with one eye open.
I give her a chance every night. It doesn't matter. I ain't scared of her either.
I think she can take you.
I think she can. If she wants to, she could.
I mean, you are sort of unconscious, so you could.
Oh, when I'm asleep, you could do anything. So nothing about us without us is I get it, but it's been hard to use that on occasion. Yeah.
Wow. Janine lasted longer than what she said.
See.
I'm still
You had to remind her of the time.
Well, I guarantee you, we got 14 minutes, and then we're probably going to be off the air tonight.
It's 10:47 here. I've been up since 2:00 in the morning.
So you should go home and get a nap too before they're going to call you into work at the last minute, and
I gave my shift away just so I could be here.
Aw.
But your tablet works, and it hasn't had any internet issues.
It has. It just dropped the internet a couple of minutes ago, but it came right back. But that wasn't the.
It didn't interfere with the broadcast, though.
Really? Huh? Weird. I didn't even plug in the Ethernet cable.
You didn't even.
I'm on Wi-Fi.
You didn't even robot, not once.
No,
I'll try harder next time.
Beep beep beep.
Double arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Oh.
So I think everybody should do that White House thing.
Let's go back.
And then they should tweet that they did it.
I did.
Yes.
So yes, the Cancer Moonshot, or you could, I have my alternate video or my alternate version. That's not the right one. Did I close it? I must have closed it. But yes, the Vape Moonshot. This is an opportunity for every one of you that is always looking for something to do. They don't let me do anything. I don't feel like I'm a part of this because I don't have anything to do.
Mm-hmm.
So get off of my screen. We're giving you something to do. And it's simple. If you have a phone, you can take part in Operation Vape Moonshot. Tell Joe Biden that your risk of cancer is substantially less, because guess what? I'm not smoking, and vaping doesn't have any carcinogens in it, at least not at the level that could be measured. This is an opportunity for Joe to help people that can't quit smoking with any other method. People like Janine, who just said, if I don't vape, I'm going to smoke, who quit smoking accidentally.
And you may as well.
And it's so awesome. All you have to do is go to whitehouse.gov or whitehouse.gov, not cov, gov / Cancer Moonshot / or go to my Twitter. See, I'll even show you. I just
retweeted that.
My profile. Scroll down here when the thing quits spinning. And I have a tweet right here. It says, of the people, by the people, for the people. That's what Abe said. Joe Biden, or at POTUS, has handed us the opportunity to tell him how vaping has saved us from an early death ravaged by cancer. He's heard from regulators and industry. He needs to hear from the people who he's supposed to be there serving. And then there's a link to the actual Operation Moonshot website, which is right here. Boom. Cancer Moonshot. You scroll down here, and there's a share your story link. You click on that. You scroll down. You type in your name, your email, and your postal code or zip code. You click on this thing. You click this button right here. I can do this.
Yeah.
I can do it. Oh, I've already done it though, but that's not even my phone. Oh, that's my wrong zip code. You only need the 78414. The +4 is you don't have to have it. You click on that. Now you can hit this button, and it'll connect to your webcam, and you can do it, or you upload a file if you already have a video recorded like I do. And once it's uploaded, it's uploaded. Once you've done that, though, it also gives you the opportunity to type in a letter. You can type it. Tom Morowitz used my zip code, 78414. You are a tenant in my guest room, if anybody asks. I'm charging you $500 a week rent to live in my guest room.
You're a Republican state, though. 56401 is mine. My state votes Democrat.
I won't hold that against Minnesota.
Oh, you should. No.
I have too many friends that live in Minnesota to blame the whole state for that. But and you know what? Being a Democrat, if you were a pure Democrat, if the Democrats were the party of the ideals that they were founded on, they would be perfectly acceptable. But the problem is, just like the Republicans, they have drifted way too far away from the vast majority of human thinking. Yeah. The progressive wing of the Democratic Party has hijacked the entire party. There were amazing people that were Democrats. Hell, Jimmy Carter may have been one of the worst presidents in history, but he was a good man. And after he left office, he did amazing things. He just wasn't a presidential person. I think he should never have been elected president. He could have been a great Secretary of the Interior or a great Secretary of State. But he was not a leader. Right. But when he got out, he created Habitat for Humanity, for God's sake. They've helped more people have a home. But yes, this whole political black and white, left and right bullshit. There are Republicans that are anti-vaping, and there are liberals, there are Democrats that are pro-vaping. It's just engaging with them, getting their attention. We've spent a decade arguing with the Democrats instead of engaging with the Democrats.
I agree.
If we had addressed this as a harm reduction technology with them from the beginning, instead of you're trying to take my freedom away. If we'd have, and I've said this before, I've been saying this for a year now. If we had turned the argument into, let's talk about nicotine. Let's get you to at least admit what nicotine is and what it does, and that it isn't heroin, and it isn't cocaine, and it doesn't cause brain cancer, and it doesn't cause mental deficiencies. Then we can argue about the delivery method. That's the way we should have been working on the nicotine argument for a long time. And now it's too late. But I mean, for the longest time, and I'm just as guilty as this. Like, we turned it into a freedom argument, which is never going to work with the left. It's never going to work with the liberals. Never going to work with the Democrats. But if we had talked about this as a substance, and if we had talked about harm reduction and addiction and brought actual scientists with us instead of neckbeards and flat-billed caps, we would have been further along.
I think it's really cool that lately we've seen a lot of.
I'm willing to accept some of the blame.
No, Patrick.
Hey, I was a member of a group
you were wrong.
No. I said blame. I didn't say wrong. I didn't develop the strategy. I just agreed with the strategy and did what I was asked to do by people that I looked up to. But remember, I was a member of a vaping group called the Vaping Militia. Yeah. And in a lot of circles, that was already a damaged word to begin with. Yeah.
But I would never amazing things you guys did back in the day.
I would never sully the legacy of that organization by saying we did bad. I mean, we're still the only organization that has ever gotten a vape prohibition, a bill that an ordinance. It wasn't a, but the city had banned all vape shops and vaping from the city limits. And a week, we worked on that city council for a week. We provided them, and they were willing to listen. We provided them information. They were willing to listen, and they repealed their ordinance. That's never happened before or after that, ever.
Well, I think it's cool that we're seeing so many from the drug harm reduction world include nicotine now in their conversations. Ethan Nadelman, awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's respected. Like, he's the founder of Drug Policy Alliance. Mark is from that world too. Dr. Mark Tyndall is from that world too.
Helen Redman.
Yeah, they're and if you go back and watch the show that Dr. Mark was on when Kevin wasn't here, like he's got so many quotes on that show where he's talking about, like, this is not how we treat any other disease, by shaming the person that's, it'd be like, oh, you got diabetes, that's your fault.
Yep.
But we don't do that, even though.
Whose hearing was the other day? Was that Triton's, where the judge asked, how do you ignite them? Talking about vapor products?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you rule on something you don't understand?
Exactly.
Well, and how do you regulate something that you don't understand? Because the FDA, and I think it's better now, but in 2014, when they authored the deeming regs, they didn't understand the technology.
No,
they have a better grasp of it now, but they were demanding to regulate a technology that they didn't understand then.
I'll never forget 8816. Remember my video, Kevin?
Yep.
When I dropped a whole mess of F-bombs towards the FDA.
I don't want to talk about that.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean,
that was a horrible day.
I'm talking about 2014 when they announced the original deeming regs. And the next day, the day after they released the deeming regs, they released their financial impact analysis document, 65-page document that clearly breaks down. We fully expect 99% of the industry to exit.
Yep.
Well, to be forced out.
It's right in their documentation.
Yep.
Due to the
they told us
of the requirements of the deeming, we fully expect 99% of the industry to exit and not be able to comply with our regulations.
Yeah, can't handle our requirements. Yeah.
So, and they made sure it happened.
Hey,
that's the way it was.
I had Amanda on this show, and I said they're going to find a fatal flaw and they're going to exploit it. And everybody laughed at me. I said they're going to have a software solution. They're going to use a bot to do a keyword search. And what the fuck do you think they did? They did exactly what I said they were going to do.
Yeah.
People told me I was fear-mongering. I said, this is what they're going to do. Now, this is the legal argument that they're making, though, is that the fatal flaw, that's the defense. That's what we're using now. That's the industry's argument, is that they, wrote a blank check and told the FDA, or the FDA said, none of these PMTAs have the thing that we said that they needed. Well, they never said that they needed it, but Yeah. And that's what they did.
Said it after the deadline.
Yeah.
Like 3
so
weeks.
The judge is ultimately going to side with the FDA. But between now and then, because technically an act of Congress is what we have to change it. The interpretation of the law, that's what the courts do, is interpret the law, and they're going to say, well, the FDA does have broad authority to do. So ultimately, I'm predicting, I don't want to be an asshole, but I'm predicting that the FDA will ultimately win their cases, just because of the nature and the broad scope that has been applied to them. I believe that the government should not be writing broad interpretive language for these agencies. They should have very specific language. But again, it would be an act of Congress to change it. They did get their extensions, or whatever you want to call it. The FDA cannot enforce right now. But yeah, I totally feel like they're still going to fuck us.
Yeah.
The FDA inspector showed up at my shop exactly a week before my last day open.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have time to write you a warning letter, so it's okay.
I don't know. He said I'd get a letter from the FDA in 8 weeks, so it hasn't been 8 weeks yet.
Did you tell him
All
the
you have to
irony
do
of
is say
his visit?
when they send you the letter, if it says something, you just say out of business.
Yeah.
Fuckers. Thank you.
He was a very nice man. He was from Nebraska. And I mean, obviously I was going out of business. My display cases were almost empty and hardly any e-liquids left here. Of course, all the e-liquids I had already been MDO'd, but I wasn't going to throw them in the trash.
Yep.
You know, and
send me all the nicotine now. I'll take the nicotine. Send it to me.
he said, "Why are you closing?" And I said, "Because the FDA screwed the American people."
Yeah.
What was I supposed to say?
Now you're going to get a letter saying that you're spreading misinformation about the FDA.
Actually, he was very nice about it. He said everywhere he's been, there's been a lot of frustration expressed. So he wasn't a jerk at all. He was a very nice man.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, the day-to-day people that do the work,
Will Webb says you have guessed he doesn't know.
They don't make policy. They're just doing their job, you know.
They are.
They don't have anything personal in this.
And I believe in don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah. Well, you could do this. Do you have a big hole in your backyard? You could have walked him over to the hole and said, "This is Minnesota," and kicked him in the chest and knocked him down into the hole.
And opened up your cranky old broad shirt, you know.
Well, I wouldn't do that. I don't want to scare the guy before he falls down in the hole.
No, once he's in the hole, she could just open the shirt and cranky old broad.
Cranky. I don't have a cranky old broad shirt.
I think that should be something that you do.
Oh, now I have to design a cranky old broad shirt. Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
That'd be the day.
I have some photographs I can use as photo resources.
Oh, Jesus.
The sleepy old broad. And...
Sleepy old broad.
Oh,
I think I've deleted them all off my Twitter.
I downloaded them.
And what is
you
this
would.
putting a picture of
why would
him
I just let you destroy Mark's art?
She took a picture of him napping. I thought that
Yes,
was
I saw
did.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Rude.
But it wasn't nearly as funny to me as when he does it for her. I'm scrolling through my Twitter to find the right one. I have one.
Uh-oh. I appreciate you ladies coming in here. Making me
I
look
do
better.
for sure.
Thanks for having us.
I can't imagine anything better.
Was that the one with the glasses
here we
halfway
go.
down my face? I like the coffee one. That's
Wow.
my favorite one.
Yep.
Oh, geez.
You are such a shit, Patrick.
Well, now I have you on. Normally I slap him up for a second, but I did write "I love you" on one.
Aww.
See?
Cranky old broad
Oh, she
fan
blocked
club.
me. Yeah, this is back when Aaron Mills blocked me.
What?
Yeah, she blocked me.
That's
I
going
try
back on-
not to get blocked. It's hard.
It is, isn't it?
Look at the wonderful clusterfuck vape band. Look at that.
Look at that.
Nice.
Oh, there's another one.
Great.
I saw Andrew floating around in here a minute ago.
Oh, there's Judy herself. I need to get Judy on the show.
That would be awesome. She
Oh,
is
that would
so
be
funny.
fantastic.
We should
I
have
love
because I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but we've had a lot of female guests on our show.
Mhm.
You've
who
done
are
a good job.
Very amazing and awesome
Mhm.
warriors for vaping.
Mhm.
Some of the greatest leaders in our sphere. Amanda, you guys,
Lindsay.
Lindsay's been on the show.
Maria, I don't know how to say her name.
Who?
From New Zealand.
Wanu? Oh, sorry. Oh, my.
Oh,
Glover?
Yes.
Mara has been on the show from New
Yolanda's?
Zealand.
Has Yolanda
Yolanda's
been on?
the show?
Yeah.
Yes. She drank like 4 bottles of wine on the show.
Mhm.
God, I feel like a wuss. I only had 1 beer and it's all gone.
Julie Wassner's been on the show.
I love Julie.
Mhm.
Julie demanded. She was at the first event that I ever went to, and she drugged me on stage, which was drugged me. She drugged me on. She dragged me onto the stage to speak.
By the ear?
No, she grabbed me by the collar.
The nap of his neck. Like a dog.
Alex was laughing the whole time.
Will wants Fig's hair back on the show.
Fig is like persona non grata. He hasn't. I haven't seen him in a while. Last time I saw him, we did a FaceTime and he was showing me his t-shirt printer.
Ooh.
When they got their new offices for his new business venture. So it's been a while. But I did see he responded to Matt Cully on Facebook today. I don't post on Facebook, but I still peek in there every once in a while. Because I don't care how bad when Cully was complaining because people were telling him what to do with his YouTube channel. There's no point in that, guys. Like, you're complaining, he was complaining. And I love Matt Cully, don't get me wrong, but it's not constructive because all you're doing is opening the door for the same people that were bitching at you in a different thread to come bitch at you on that thread. So,
there are a few people out there that do believe they are God's gift to advocacy, though. That's me. No, that think it's okay to message
no, but
people
this
with
wasn't
unkind messages.
Yeah, I mean he I think people were told him 4 or 5 years ago, well, if you promote this type of product on your show, it's going to destroy vaping. Oh, no, if it's this type of product, so forth and so on. And I'm just like, you know what? The haters are going to hate. Just fuck them.
Yep.
Well, you don't say that on the show as much as you used to.
Well, no, I'm trying to be more. I never say it on Twitter ever. I never curse on Twitter. I never say
you
bad
do
words
good on Twitter.
Because I feel like those are the people that we're trying to engage with. And I mean, obviously, people like to hear Turk and Simon Chapman and Stan. Those guys are never going to change their mind. They're never going to fall in line. So why do I don't even engage with Tahir Turk anymore. And I laugh. I laugh when I see on Facebook, oh, such and such replied to Tahir Turk. I'm like, why are you fucking wasting your time talking to him? It's a waste of your energy.
Well, and if you look, the only people that are commenting are us.
Yeah.
Why are we boosting their algorithms so that they show up in people's news feeds? Mm-hmm. I don't comment on his. I don't comment on glances. I don't comment on paves anymore.
Well, they blocked me, so I can't vote. I can't comment on them anymore anyway.
Dr. Glover.
I think they got mad because I was tweeting a video of one of their kids saying that kids are going to do what you tell them not to do. And I think eventually it hurt their feelings that I was using the son of one of their founders to completely torpedo their entire campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Because instead of being, so that they just blocked me. I still have the video though, and I use it for other things.
I bookmarked it myself. Dr. Glover would not have engaged with the people who are being engaging, assuming, and I'm pretty sure people like Alan Beard, etc., that were discussing things with her on Twitter and would have never changed her mind had they said, fuck this, fuck that, fuck this, fuck that. It's not that
No.
you have to know your audience.
Because we know she's very spunky. And if you
is spunky.
I like her.
If you were to have approached her in that way, she would have just told you to fuck off.
Yeah. Generally.
I still remember the first time we had her on the show, and we were all so good and well mannered, and then she said bot shit.
3 hours. 3 hours.
3 hours of her being on the show. Bucky was in the chat room and was like, have you noticed how quiet they are? They look like 3 innocent boys sitting in the first pew of the church. She said bot shit, and we all exploded. We're like, what?
Literally the only time I really literally considered wearing a tie for your show was when I had her
Lord.
I literally was going to wear my suit, coat, and tie.
Actually, I almost dressed up for Dr. Mark Tyndall because he's so well respected and so. Right. I didn't know him, and he agreed to come on the show, and I'm like. He did a TED talk. Like he's a smart guy.
He did.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he's a wonderful man.
I did steal a lot of stuff from his TED talk, by the way.
Yeah, well,
but since he was on the show, what are they going to do? But yeah, I mean, we don't have anybody else that's ever had a TED talk on our show.
No,
that's a big deal.
Nobody else that has a show has had anybody else with a TED talk on their show.
Yeah. No, he's been on. He's been on Reg Watch, I think now.
Oh, that's right.
But we had him first.
Yep.
Janine's hair is hella fly.
Must be Chris. Yep.
It is.
Chris and I have decided that chocolate in any form is good, by the way.
Amen.
Nougat is way better than chocolate.
Just so you know. What?
Nougat.
Nougat?
Nougat. White chocolate is far superior to regular chocolate.
Well, that's chocolate, so it doesn't matter.
No. Actually, white chocolate is the leftovers from chocolate.
What?
And they process. Yes, that's what white chocolate is.
How can there be leftovers?
Because when you're processing and you're dividing the different oils and the different stuff, the white chocolate is the stuff that they take out of chocolate to make chocolate.
There's no such.
That's
thing
why
as
it doesn't taste like
chocolate. Leftover chocolate. Who'd have thunk that?
I'm just telling you, as a prior baker, I used to own a bakery. White chocolate is the leftover byproduct of when you're processing chocolate.
GTFOH.
Look it up.
I used to work in a bakery.
White chocolate does not taste like chocolate.
No, I like
white chocolate. No, it doesn't at all.
I hate white chocolate.
That's why I don't like
it.
I like chocolate in any form.
Me too.
But it's not chocolate.
Bill had a TED talk before. Not the big adventure.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you everyone for coming. Janine, I'm going to put you on the screen all by yourself. And I want you to, I want you to say goodbye to everybody. And,
okay.
Any parting thoughts that you would like to express.
Any parting thought? Well, thanks for having me. I can't see anybody in chat because I just can't. I'm not giving up. So I hope everyone else is in for the long haul too. It's a big struggle, but we have a lot to win. So hang in there, everybody.
Skip?
Oh, God. Scared me. I was staring at the computer. I'm with Janine. We need to be in for the long haul. Thanks for having me on tonight. It was a rough day, and it was nice to spend time with good people and good friends.
Well, I don't include Kevin. He's not good people. But, Kevin, what do you have to say?
I'm glad these ladies came and joined us and gave some perspective on their lives and how we do what we do. And you're right, Janine. We're not shutting up. We're not going anywhere. So that's good. And Skip, I just want you to continue to be cranky and sleep in front of your husband so he can take more photos. That's what I want. And chocolate.
I think you should give Mark a phone and teach him how to use it so that he doesn't have to steal your phone.
All those in favor? Aye.
Now, but let him log into your Twitter.
Oh, yes. No. Yes. He has a phone. He now knows how to text me, usually when I'm in the bathroom. God, the man has timing. Hey, but he doesn't have a Twitter account.
My wife just opens the bathroom door and talks to me, and I'm like, "Woman, close the damn door." Nobody wants to see that. I want to ask people one more time. Please go to this whitehouse.gov cancer moonshot site.
Thing.
Please spend a few minutes and make a 2-minute video, 3-minute. My video is like 5 minutes and it took it. There's no, please be respectful. Please tell your story and please say, the thing is this is about cancer. So, say in there, hey, I'm positive that my health is better. I'm positive that my cancer risk is reduced because I no longer smoke. And vaping helped me get away from that. And then obviously if flavors are important to you, then you can mention, if I didn't have apple pie e-liquid, I would still be smoking or whatever, make it your own thing. But this is an opportunity for us to change the narrative, and actually participate. And maybe, there's no guarantees, but maybe he'll actually listen and say, you know what, there's a lot of people that are talking to me about this vaping thing. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time. Let's talk to the people that this has made a difference in their lives. Because they've talked to the companies and they've got their opinion on the companies, and they've talked to the public health and name only people that are profiteers. They've talked to the drug companies, but they haven't talked to you. So this is a way for you to talk to them, and maybe we'll get their attention, because we've tried every damn thing else. And we're at this point now where I think there's a lot of people that are like just sitting on the sidelines, like they don't know what to do. This you can do, and it doesn't take any money. If you've got a cell phone, you can do this. You can make the video. You can go right to their website, follow the instructions, and click on the record video and just record it right there, or make a video on your phone camera and upload it. It's easy. Like I did it in no time flat. And then, when you do it, share that you did it and share a link and tell your other friends that vape, hey, this was easy. I did it. Let's do this. Because right now we have an opportunity to maybe change the future. And I think anytime that we're given a chance to do this, we should figure out ways to jump in here. You don't wait for Kasa to tell you to do it. Don't wait for Skip to tell you to do it. Don't wait for me or Kevin to tell you to do it. Find opportunities where you feel like you can make a difference and make that difference. Otherwise, when they take it away from us, which could happen, we got you. We'll figure out ways to help you. But I would much rather not have to be a scallywag, even though I'm more than willing to do it. I will not let people die when I can save them. But anyway, love you. Have a great weekend. If you're down here in South Texas, it's 28 degrees outside right now. Janine says it's balmy over there in northern Canada and not 28 degrees. I know that Skip probably has 8 feet of snow.
It's -8 here.
Ooh,
Kevin's probably got some snow. At least we don't have snow. We just had
snow.
Freezing rain. And in Texas, we don't have snowplow trucks or ice trucks to put out the stuff on the road. So whenever we have ice or anything like that, the entire world shuts down. The grocery stores are sold out of bottled water and toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. But I mean, last year when we had that really bad winter storm, half of the city that I live in didn't have power for like 5 days. So it was the oldest part of town, and it was mainly because of down power lines. And we didn't have that problem, so they must have replaced all the power lines with new stuff. So we didn't have that problem this time. But anyway, love you. Come back in 7 days and we'll do this again. And
thank you, ladies.
We appreciate
Skip
and Janine for coming and hanging out with the Chuckleheads.
Nice
Liana's
to meet
been
you
on.
all.
You as well.
Now you have to come back again.
Yes.
See, then we can get Liana back on. She just popped in.
We should
Hi,
have,
Liana.
You know what,
And
Kevin?
then we'll just go away.
That's what we did earlier. We did that right in the middle of the show. We just left the girls on the screen and let them take over, and I just
Let
produced
them
from the
roll.
background.
We're not that smart. You know that. We think we are, but we're not.
No, we just pretend like we are, and we fool some people. Hey, did you see Tic Tac showed up right at the end of the show?
I see it.
Yeah. Janine and Tic Tac showed up. Not Janine. Leanna and Tic Tac showed up at the same time. Did you see that?
We haven't had
Tic
Mallory
Tac?
on. Mallory could come on.
Tic Tac is Paul.
Oh,
Paul is there?
oh, okay.
He's in there.
Oh, yeah.
He's
I
very-
get it.
He's very
probably calling him
self-conscious about
DK.
Tic Tac. So, but anyway, he's yelling at the computer right now. But love you guys, and we'll see you in 7 days. Let's leave you with Mitch Zeller telling the truth. How about that?
That's right. That's a switch.
Love you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
If we look at a subset of smokers who are otherwise unable or unwilling to quit, they're going to continue to smoke that pack of cigarettes. Half of them will die prematurely later in life from that decision. If we could get all of those people to completely switch all of their cigarettes for one of these non-combustible products, that would be good for public health.